IDs with signature, no? Kasi yun raw ang kailangan. So it defeats the purpose of our national ID. We invested so much funds already, 24 billion already in our national ID system, pero hindi naman nagagamit. Sayang. So
ngayon, Mr. Chair, compared to, let's say, last year, mas marami nang gumagamit. As I mentioned kanina, we have already counted 56 million authentication, and mga 12 million dito ay nasa private sector, 6 million sa financial, and then 6 million sa ibang private sector na relying parties. So it is being utilized, Mr. Chair, and we the PSA continues to engage the private sector, particularly yung mga financial entities natin, to use the national ID system for their transaction. Kasi the verification, of course, is stronger because it utilizes the demographic and biometric information. Thank you.
You said there's also another issue with the printer. No, can you give us an update on what happened to that?
Yung partner namin,
all cards.
Yeah, sa BSP, and then they have a service provider. But last year, we canceled the agreement with the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. We agreed that PSA is, better perhaps to move forward and find its own service provider. So we have already a MOA with the National Printing Office, Mr. Chair, and we will start the testing itong fourth quarter for the first set of national ID cards that will be printed para ma-cover namin yung mga 35 to 36 million that is still our backlog.
There are two problems here, no? Number one is the performance of all card, no? Tama ba? They couldn't deliver on time. And the other one is also the data. Based on a COA report that all cards have handles part of the card personalization system provided by the Bangko Sentral. So they have access to information.
Access to information, Mr. Chair, before we terminated the memorandum of agreement with the BSP, so natapos na yung aming engagement with them and all cards. Yung mga nasa printing stations naman ay PSA personnel. But of course, yung all card technicians, they help us kasi sila ay nagpapatakbo ng machines. But those that are printing the cards and those that are checking sa quality control, yun yung mga access to information. Those are personnel of the PSA before, stationed at the BSP East Avenue complex.
Meron bang access ang all cards to personal information?
Yung database, wala sila.
Based on COA reports, meron silang nagkaroon sila access to personal information?
Ang pwede siguro masabi, Mr. Chair, na access to personal information kasi when you print a card, di ba, mayroon yung mga pangalan, but that is the stage that a person, a technician from the all cards may able to look at it. But in terms of database, wala akong alam na mayroon silang access. As I've said, the all cards technician before are in charge of the machines kasi sila yung sa machines, and then mga tao ng PSA naman na nagpiprint kasi ganoon palagi yung agreement, no? We are mindful of the sensitivity of the information in the national.
So we can be assured that all cards does not have the database. Okay. And then did we make any down payment to them? Did government made any advance payments in terms of the printing of cards?
Yung ang partner kasi namin, Mr. Chair, is Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. We pay based on printed cards.
Okay.
So parang kung may cost and then kung 55 million, yun ang binayaran namin.
Upon payment, upon delivery, in other words. Yeah. So in other words, PSA Walang exposure
Wala.
all cards. Okay. It's BSP siguro.
BSP.
Okay. But the contract is with BSP.
And all cards.
And all, sorry, PSA with BSP.
It's a MOA, and then they have all cards as their service provider.
Bakit ganun, no? I think the intention is for BSP to print it because it's G2G. Pero eventually they subcontract it out also to another private entity na hindi naman nakadeliver. No? Parang nawala yung G2G purpose. Sa G2G, mas mabilis. At least negotiated na lang siya. No?
So I assure you, Mr. Chair, may binabayaran namin na they bill, BSP billed us based on the card that were released to us. And may mga sinesettle lang kami ngayon yung mga last year's turnover from BSP to PSA. But there's no advance payment whatsoever.
Okay. And then moving forward, you are now going to, you said you
National
have
Printing Office.
National Printing
Yes.
Office. But this one, National Printing Office will do it themselves.
Yes.
They will not subcontract it to other.
Yes,
To other.
they will do it. The agreement is clear, and then the PSA will be there for assistance on the checking, quality assurance, and everything.
Okay, that's good to hear. Another issue, Yusek, ito familiar tayo lahat kay Alice Guo. Any updates on reforming the late registration process, preventing another Alice Guo from happening again? If you remember,
Yeah.
it's not only Alice Guo.
Right.
There's a municipality in Davao del Sur that issued 1,200 late registration birth certificates, no, of which I think you found out at that time parang 20 ba na spurious?
Mas marami pa po.
Can you
Mr.
give us
Chair. Yeah.
updates na lang?
Yeah.
Two things, no? One is reform on the late registration process. Number two, updates on the epicenter of that late registration process, which is Davao del Sur, no? So two updates.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you are aware, the late registration is not really unique, no? Based on our 2020 census of population and housing, 3.4% ng ating mga citizens ay wala pang birth registration, or this is about 3.7 million Filipinos na wala pa talaga. And that is part of the mandate and responsibilities ng PSA na kailangan irehistro sila sa ating civil registration database, no? But I agree na after the Alice Guo case, we made some reforms. Part of that is that we strengthened the late registration procedure. Sa ngayon po, pag wala ka pang birth certificate, magle-late register ka, simultaneously kailangan marehistro ka na rin sa national ID para at least makuha yung demographic and biometric information mo. So sabay na po yun, no, sa mga late registrant. And then binalikan ng Philippine Statistics Authority lahat ng mga late registration na nangyari noong 2010 hanggang 2024. Napakarami po yon at we analyze the problem and we look at actually about 50,000 of this possible problematic.
Ilan?
50,000 po. Pero
50,000?
possible problematic. Yun po yung sa datos natin. And what we did, hindi naman po lahat. Kasi may mga information. This is like using data analytics, and then we deployed our personnel from the field offices and together with our provincial offices at na-audit namin itong mga local civil registry at mayroon po tayong mga na-identify na possible highly irregular, mga 840. 840. So yun po yung ano. Yung iba naman, hindi naman Pilipino naman po talaga yon. Baka mayroon lang kasi sa late registration, may mga submissions na kailangan i-verify. So out of that, we saw 840 na highly irregular, and we already recommended cancellation of 2. And these are from the municipality of Pikit in North Cotabato po. So mayroon tayo nakita doon. Doon naman po sa Davao del Sur, sa Municipality of Santa Cruz.
Itong dalawa ba, sorry to interrupt you, Yusek, itong dalawa, anong potential nationality nila?
Ang report sa akin ng FMD ay possible Chinese.
Chinese rin. Ito yung sa Pikit. Kasi it can be any nationality. It can be Indian, it can be Malaysian, it can be Diba? So, kaya sabi ko potential because we don't know eh.
Yeah.
No? Yeah. Okay.
Doon naman po sa ating unang discussion last year sa Senate with you, Senator, and sina Senator Risa, plus yung information sa Congress, nagkaroon na po kami ng endorsement to the Office of the Solicitor General for the cancellation of 1,472 Certificate of Live Births. Ang karamihan po dito ay galing sa Davao del Sur na province, no? Included po dito yung kay Alice Guo, and may tatlo pong certificate of marriages that we are also we recommended to the OSG for cancellation. Habang pinag-aaralan ng OSG, the PSA already blocked all of these civil registry documents para hindi na po ma-release. So naka-block po sa system namin. So if you, for example, if you're part of this and you will request, hindi na po lalabas yun kasi may tagging na naka-block, no? And continuous po yung aming pag-audit sa mga local civil registry offices na may nakita kaming possible problems. And as I've said, moving forward, yun naman yung reforms that we initiated, medyo stricter, plus registration also to the national ID, so that at least the demographic and biometric information can be generated, captured, and verified from the database of the national ID. Doon naman sa case ni Alice Guo, of course, we filed the case in the RTC of Tarlac, and the RTC of Tarlac actually recently, so OSG and PSA filed petition to cancel the birth registration last July 4, 2024. And recently po, yung certificate of live birth ni Alice Go was declared void by the RTC 3rd Judicial Region Branch 111 Tarlac City last 24th September. So this is a good news for the Philippine government, Philippine Statistics Authority, na napakita po na at declare ng RTC na void po yung birth registration ni Alice Go. So yun po ang update namin, Mr. Chair.
Just to get the numbers correctly, you said, so you've detected 50,000 potential problematic birth certificate, of which 840
highly irregular.
are highly irregular, no?
Oo. At dalawa na po yung nakita namin na i-endorse na for cancellation.
Out of that 840, dalawa na endorsed for cancellation. Now, yung 1,472 na na-endorse for cancellation, this is part of the 50,000?
Outside.
Dito
outside.
yung una pa ito?
Yeah, ito pa yung una po.
Ito pa yung una. Okay. And then, how many of those came from Davao del Sur? More or less lang.
Mga more than 1,000 po.
So, almost 70%.
Yes.
Grabe.
Doon lang ano.
And obviously, hindi to just plain clerical error. It's deliberate and malicious.
That's the conclusion po ng aming team, and also being investigated na po yan. Ano? I think may mga cases filed na ang ating National Bureau of Investigation doon sa mga personnel involved po sa
Civil Registrar.
Civil Registration.
Yan ang next tanong ko. Have we penalized? Meron ba naparusahan dito? This is 1,000 out of the 1,400. Hindi yan just simple nagkamali lang or ano. Ito talagang deliberate to eh.
Correct, Mr. Chair, and the team, our Fraud and Management Division of the Philippine Statistics Authority, continues po yung coordination sa National Bureau of Immigration, Bureau of Immigration, and the DFA. Mayroon po kaming data sharing, ano, and ang aming latest na nakuha na update is that may mga cases filed doon sa mga personalities involved in these different LCROs. So ang ginagawa po ng PSA, once we have also the information as generated by our Fraud Management Division, particularly itong sa Pikit, North Cotabato, Nabago, we are sharing this also to the National Bureau of Immigration. We have a working group, Mr. Chair, sa mga agencies para madali na po yung pag-share ng data at ma-tag din, no? Particularly sa Bureau of Immigration and DFA. So they are also providing us data, we verify, and working with them and law enforcement agencies.
Cases have we filed against erring government officials?
Ang
Yusek.
Ang understanding ko may dalawa sa local civil registry office ng
Probinsya?
doon po sa LCRO na file ng case ng National Bureau of Investigation po. And then there are other names. There are 4 people po. I can provide the name siguro
Yeah.
to the chair of the committee.
Sige, what's important is may
Yes po.
file na case, no? Because the other day lang we had nag-organize din Defense Committee ng Senate at napag-usapan namin sa committee kasama si Secretary Teodoro that one of the biggest gaps in terms of espionage in our country is the late registration process. Nakita ito ng mga iba't ibang bansa. I'm not gonna single out one country, but nakita to ng iba't ibang bansa. And that's a weakness in our system that can be exploited by people who want to create problems in terms of national security in our country. So we need to make sure that, first of all, yung mga umabusong government official maparusahan, at pangalawa, ma-plug natin yung gaps. No?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We are also strengthening our visits to the different local civil registry offices and meeting. No, personally, I'm meeting the different local civil registrars ng mga probinsya to discuss with them the seriousness of the problem pag mayroon po tayong mga late registration na hindi naman talaga mga Pilipino po.
Yusek, I saw in your budget that the civil registration program has 6 billion pesos. This is actually almost half of your budget.
Yung kasama po dyan ang national ID po.
Kasama na dito.
Kasi nandun siya sa line na yan, yung civil registration national ID. Yung ating civil registration service, we are ito po yung mga steps moving forward. Simulan na namin, Mr. Chair, para malaman talaga, matrack natin yung mga particularly late registration. The solution really is the end-to-end digitalization process. So yun po yung ginagawa namin ngayon. Kailangan mag-report kaagad yung ating mga local civil registrars sa PSA at ma-check natin, parang hindi naman real time but near the reporting of the events. So that is actually a bulk of our undertaking now for the civil registration service. But it's not 6 billion.
Yeah, it's 400 pala.
Yeah.
477 million.
Yeah, I know it's just
2 billion kasi yung
sa national ID.
Yeah, 2.7. Yung 477, is this enough already to assure the country that none of these late registration problems will happen again?
Yung late registration, Mr. Chair, unfortunately, we have to do it because as I've mentioned to you, talagang kailangan nating hanapin
I agree,
yung
but we need to reform it.
Correct.
Digitalize it.
Yes. Yun po yung nagsimula po kami ngayon. We are doing a pilot of about 88 local civil registrar, 1,642 po sila. Next year, mga 600 po yung dadagdag namin. This is a 4-year program po ng Philippine Statistics Authority that by 2027, 2028, ay nakalink na po yung database ng mga local civil registry offices sa Philippine Statistics Authority. Ibig sabihin, pag na-report yung event sa'yo, let's say may bagong panganak doon or may late registration, maipapadala na kaagad sa database ng Philippine Statistics Authority, and then there's a digital trail, sino nag-prepare ng document na yan, and whatever problems makita kaagad. Unlike ito po ngayon kasi ang karamihan dito of course sa mga local civil registry offices, paper pa po, so we are shifting towards digitalization.
That's included here in the 477?
Yes,
okay.
Pero hindi po one year.
It's a multi-year.
Yeah, kasi marami rin po yung mga LGU, so we are doing a gradual.
Yeah.
But this is a 4-year program, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I agree that the way to solve this is to digitalize it from end to end. Kasi ngayon mano-mano
Yes.
pinapadala eh. No, if we can do it digital, meaning pag pinasok na ng local civil registrar, it will appear na sa central, mabilis na natin ma-detect.
Tama po, ma-verify kaagad sino nag-prepare ng mga documents na to. So nandun po yung digital trail, who prepared from the hospital even, or from the local, kasi hindi naman po sa local civil registrar, so galing sa hospital or galing sa barangay clinic if it is a new birth. So hanggang doon po ang aming pag-process ng digitalization procedure.
Okay. We'll support that. Yusek, let us know if you need some more support for digitalization.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Itong you said may certificate of marriages na cancel, tatlo. Kasama ba dito yung parents ni Alice Guo? Diba? Kasi dito may ano yun may certificate of marriage yun Oo.
Walang marriage daw. Negative po yon ang report namin. Negative. So wala silang...
pero doon sa birth certificate,
mayroon. Pero wala silang marriage certificate.
Okay. Ay, natandaan ko sa birth certificate, they declared married Okay. Alright. So sino itong tatlo?
Can we provide it to the chair later?
Sige. Yeah, sige. Alright. Okay. Yusek, I saw in the additional request, marami dito PSA related. Do you wanna give us, like for example, survey for food demand, that's 100 million. And then, ano ko nakita?
Dalawa lang po yung aming
okay.
pinadala. But yes, Mr. Chair, yung survey of food demand is very important. Yung survey of food demand kasi, doon natin kinukuha, Mr. Chair, yung consumption ng ating populasyon, particularly doon sa mga important commodities. Para makita naman natin kung ano yung consumption na kabuuan, particularly in this case, rice. So the last survey of food demand was conducted, I think, sometime 2015. And it, of course, yung ating consumption pattern changes, and we feel that it is really due, long overdue to conduct the survey on food demand. Para malaman natin, bumaba ba yung ating per capita rice consumption in the last 10 years, yung ating meat consumption, and so on. Input po ito kasi doon sa ating pag-estimate ng consumption versus the production that we produce, and of course decision yon for importation if ever there is a deficit. So sa ngayon yung ating ginagamit ay medyo old data, of course adjusted for certain parameters, but we feel in fact we requested this already, Mr. Chair, for past 3 years, yung survey on food demand, and we feel that this is really important, particularly sa agricultural sector, for decisions on whether we have enough production to really support our consumers.
We'll take note of that, Yusek.
Receive din sila, sir.
Okay. Meron palang letter request. Yeah. And then there's also a COA report to yung unprogrammed appropriations amounting to 3.6 billion that were released to PSA. And so ibig sabihin you requested for an additional amounts. No, for 2024. For 2025, did you request?
Wala po.
Okay, so ang punto ko lang naman is obviously nagkulang sa 2024. For 2026, meron pa ba kayong items na we need to augment so that we don't need to tap into the unprogrammed funds? Because Secretary, ang usapan dito sa Senate with the senators is to remove the unprogrammed funds, no? Because ako personally naabuso talaga siya these last 3 years, no? And So the chain of thought of the senators to remove unprogrammed funds. So I just want to ask the PSA if this 2026, because if you remove that, obviously wala nang pwedeng pagkuhaan ng PSA. Nakapasok na ba lahat for 2026?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yung 2024 case, Mr. Chair, let me just explain it a bit, ano, kasi of course napakalaki. Nung 2024 kasi, we planned that we will do the community-based monitoring system. But we were not given enough fund by DBM. However, when there was a discussion with the Secretary RC, Secretary Rex, and the President and myself, na kailangan talaga ng bagong datos para nga dun sa ating social protection programs, because the before CBMS yung ating data for the social protection program, yung listahan ng 3, this was conducted in 2019, pre-COVID pa po. So we explained that there is a need to do a new data. That was in February of 2024, and then the President instructed that PSA should do the CBMS together with the census, and dun po nanggaling yung augmentation ng pondo, kasi it's a census and we require a huge fund. So dun po yung 3.6, pero hindi na po yun mangyayari kasi one time lang po yun.
Yeah, we just want to make sure, that's where I'm coming from, no? Because we're also looking at the agencies who tapped into the unprogrammed funds, just to make sure that in 2026, when we remove it, everything that you need are already covered in the program funds. Nakita kasi namin, maraming agent, hindi lang naman PSA, daming agencies nag-tap, no? From the SWD, from PSA, from, I think also DepDev, if I'm not mistaken, meron ba? Or I think some agencies meron I can't remember all, no? So it became a buffer, which is good kung legitimate yung project. Maganda naman pag legitimate, pero kung let's say flood control, no? Kasi half of the DPWH requested projects in the unprogrammed funds are flood control, no? Half of it, no? So that's why I was asking earlier, pag dadaan ka ng RDC, ang hirap-hirap, pero pag nag-shortcut ka to unprogrammed, kaagad half of it marirelease, no? So that's why we're asking the agencies if they have if everything is already covered with the 2026 NEP. Okay. I'll jump to PAPCOM, yung sa teenage pregnancies. Saan ba yung PAPCOM? Yes, ma'am. Yes. I support that allocation to track down teenage pregnancies, but I know that this is a problem that has been plaguing the country for many years. Can you give us an update on the status of teenage pregnancies in our country? I know I saw data that it's going down. The age bracket is going down. So, and how do we address teenage pregnancies in our country?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So the Commission on Population and Development, formerly PAPCOM, has actually been tracking the incidence of adolescent or teenage pregnancy in the country. Tama po kayo, Mr. Chair. Yung ating pong incidence of teenage pregnancy for 15 to 19 years old, the older adolescents, going down po siya. Pero yung below 15, ito po yung tumataas, and the increase was 35% from 2021 to 2022, and from 22 to 23, the increase was 6.6%. We already have, Mr. Chair, a technical working group to address the rising cases of teenage pregnancy, which the secretariat of which is CPD, but this is under the supervision of the Board of Commissioners of CPD, Mr. Chair, headed by our Secretary of DepDev. So this is a report also to the Social Development
Tagalog
Committee
na lang, ma'am,
Technical
ba?
Board. We have a comprehensive action plan already, Mr. President, and this comprehensive action plan includes the involvement of local government units because the issue is on the ground. So the work is from national level involving DSWD, DOH, DepDev, DILG. So we have this multi-sectoral agency looking into the issue, but the CPD regional offices are the ones providing technical assistance and alerts, in a way like early warning systems to the different local government units. So, Mr. Chair, we have identified specific regions that are really top in terms of percentage of incidents, and we have northern Mindanao as both highest in percentage of incidents as well as top 5 of number of adolescent pregnancy cases. So we have been reporting, Mr. Chair, to the Office of the President as regards the work being done in northern Mindanao, and the work is really down coordinating with local government units, specifically doing we have been promoting teen centers, adolescent youth-friendly facilities for referrals to provide services and information to adolescent pregnancies. But may I clarify, Mr. Chair, that the percentage of registered births from adolescent mothers is 9.8%. Siguro we can say hindi naman siya masyadong malaki. It's the trend that is worrying us, and yung 15 and below 15 years old, Mr. Chair.
I saw this data from PSA that girls aged 10 to 14 years old rose by 6.6% from 2019 to 2023. No, so ibig sabihin, yung mga mas bata pa, tumataas siya. No, from 2,400 to 3,300. No? But the overall adolescent pregnancy is going down. But the younger cohort is going up. Yeah.
You are right, Mr. President, Mr. Chair.
And so, how is POPCOM addressing this phenomenon? I know it's very difficult, to be honest about it. It's very challenging, but this is one of the mandates of POPCOM. So, how's POPCOM addressing this phenomenon?
So we have the multi-sectoral technical working group, Mr. Chair, to address the rising teenage pregnancy. This is actually based on Executive Order 141 issued in 2018 for us to prioritize this issue. So the comprehensive action plan, Mr. Chair, has different strategies. Among them is reproductive health education in the formal education sector. We also have the interventions with families. So we also work with the SWD. In the 4-piece program, we have a module to discuss family planning and the issue of adolescent pregnancy as well. And at the community level LGU, we have LGUs that have set up community teen centers where these are also so those national agencies, regional agencies, but we really are into our devolution transition where we go down to the LGUs to work with them, the population officers and the health officers to address this.
The biggest catchment area will be DepEd. because they're all going to our schools.
Yes, Mr.
And recently, I read in the news that DepEd retooled their reproductive health, retooled their approach to addressing teenage pregnancies by implementing reproductive health education
Yes.
rather than comprehensive sexuality
yes, Mr.
education, no?
Yes.
So to avoid controversy.
Yes.
Is POPCOM part of that retooling?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We are part of the work that DepEd is doing, providing inputs to the reproductive health education curriculum.
On a separate topic, I saw in a COA report that there are IUDs and POP that expired. Total cost is about 250,000. POP about 442,000. So ang POPCOM is also buying this type of commodities.
Not anymore, Mr. Chair. So it's now the Department of Health.
Okay, all right.
Our support to Department of Health as regards this is monitoring and tracking the supplies of contraceptive commodities. So we actually provide information to DOH about this expired family planning commodities. And in some regions, we help them with supply chain management. So they purchase the commodities. They are in the warehouses of DOH. But as to addressing the requests of the LGUs to augment their supplies, we provide such a service. So we coordinate with the CHDs in the region.
POPCOM doesn't buy
No.
commodities anymore. It's really
Not anymore,
DOH. Okay.
DOH.
All right. Yeah. I'll go to PIDS, and I see Secretary made an appeal on their office. Can you give us
Mr. Chair,
can you give us some briefing on the PIDS building?
yes, this is a project that we started actually in 2014, but again, it was only revived in the past in 2020, when we signed an agreement with UP regarding this. So for the structure that we have now, we've already signed a use of rock agreement with the University of the Philippines last June 2024. And there's already a schematic design for the building that was already developed, and there's already some cost estimates already for the construction of the building, which we hope to start next year. According to that estimate, the building will cost around 811 million. And in the first year, 2026, the request was to have initial amount of 300 million pesos for that. We requested that amount from DBM, but we were only given 50 million for next year. So that's why, Mr. Chair, the additional request for an extra 250 million for that.
Right now, you're leasing an office.
Yes,
No,
Mr.
in
Chair.
Centris, in Centris. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Centris.
Yes,
Okay.
for the lease amount costs around 40 million pesos a year.
Okay. And then the proposed office will be, where's the proposed office?
In UP,
Okay.
Mr. Chair, near the National College of Public Administration Governance. It's 11,250 square meter building, 9-story building. Six floors will be occupied by the PIDS, while 3 floors will be occupied by the University of the Philippines, the Center for Integrative and Development Studies.
Okay. But this year, the EBM only allocated 50 million. Tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
But the target is 800 million. So what can 50 million do?
That's why we requested for an additional amount.
Okay. And for the 800 million, how many people will be housed in that office?
Right now, in the PIDES, we're around 130, but again, Mr. Chair, 3 floors will be occupied by the UP, and the preference is their research center, research institute, the Center for Integrative and Development Studies, will be occupying the other 3 floors.
Working with economic planning. Review first. Wala man lang sumama. Nag-iisa lang si Senator Gatchalian. Di mo lang sinamahan ng ilang senator na interested sa Committee on Finance, Subcommittee A. Mag-review muna si Senator.
Okay. We'll take note of that, Mr. Tuano. Actually, I'll go to another topic and this is to DAP. Sa DAP naman, merong 425 million for a new training building.
Yes, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Sa PIDS, walang training building. Kayo may training building. Pwede
Yes.
ba kayo mag-share
Yes,
na
Mr.
lang?
Chair.
Or pwede ba kayo mag-share? Para
This will be in Tagaytay, Mr. Chair, and this is an expansion of the training capacity for DAP. This was actually concept proposed way back in 2013 when President Benigno Aquino Jr. approved the expansion of DAP facilities. A study was done, and then the construction started in 2019
Until
with an
now.
initial funding of 200 million, but it was stopped because of the pandemic and also some problem with the contractor. So it has been rebid this year, and it's hopefully it will be completed by 2028.
But can you give us a description of the build of this construction? This is one time lang?
No, Mr. Chair, this is about
This will cost about 1.9 billion
Wow,
pesos.
ano kalaki
It's a
yan.
14-story training facility which will have 22 training and conference spaces for 900 people and can accommodate 442 guests.
Okay, and this
Yeah.
425 is the first phase.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, okay.
It is a multi-year project.
Ang DAP, you have your own corporate funds?
We are heavily dependent on the
Subsidy.
government subsidy.
On the subsidy. So this will come in the form of subsidy.
Yes, Mr. Chair. That's why it's called a locally funded project.
Okay, okay. Okay. And the total subsidy will be 1.5 billion,
Wow.
correct?
For the building. Mr.
And
Chair.
for 2026, the total.
For 2026, it's only 1.1 if you include the additional funding that we are requesting. Currently, in DNEP, it's only 900.
900, okay, okay.
May I add,
Secretary.
regarding that building, Chair, with the expansion of the mandate of DepEd, DepDev, DepDev, to strengthen the capacity of LGUs, the RDCs, and other stakeholders. DepDev intends to use DAP as the service capacity building delivery arm of DepDev. So all these LGUs will go into managed project management program, will stay in Tagaytay, where they will be lodged in that building. It would be cheaper than them, staying in hotels and other venues in Tagaytay. So it will be fully optimally utilized once it's constructed. It will save us cost because we don't have to send people to far places for the training. They can have a good training program in Tagaytay. The complex is in Tagaytay. I'm sure you know the
Been there.
complex.
Yeah, it's a nice complex.
Complex.
Yeah. So the total project cost is 1.9 billion, of which ito nakita ko na, of which 425 million will be allocated to the project. So multi-year siya. So I would assume 3 years, no? Tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Up to 2028.
And then the new appropriations will be 925 million. No?
Puro million, walang thousand.
But your corporate funds is 1.5. Tama. So 600 will be coming from your corporate funds.
Corporate funds.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr.
900 will be coming from GAA, from
Right.
subsidies.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, all right. And then itong building na ito is sabi ni Secretary, this will also be a hotel or dormitory? How is
It's
that?
more of a hotel type but a dormitory, Mr. Chair.
A hotel type siya. So how many rooms will be built?
122 rooms. Right. 184 rooms, Mr. Chair.
184 rooms.
184 rooms for 442 guests.
Okay. And then it will also have training rooms. What else? What facility?
22 training rooms and including spaces for 900 pax convention hall.
Okay.
It will also have an innovation laboratory. Then it will be characterized by green features like solar lamps, rainwater harvesting, gray water reuse, energy efficient building, etc.
Okay.
The cost includes already the fixtures, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Okay. And the secretary said that the goal is to train local government units.
That will include training of local government officials, executives. We will expand our current programs on local executives, also for the youth and young leaders, including even we also have a program for legislative staff, Mr. Chair, the civils, and then and the bureaucracy. We have the middle managers and senior executives in the government, in the national government. We are also aiming to expand our training for this group, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So right now you don't have any quarters doon, walang hotel.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we have about 70 capacity dormitory.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you will build a hotel ba ito? Can I call it a hotel? Ano ba siya?
It's more of a dormitory, but it will
Dormitory.
be like a hotel because
Okay. Then you
Hotel
also
dormitory.
need to increase your MOE. But
it will be
for upkeep,
yeah,
for
yes,
upkeep
Mr.
and-
Chair, but it will be subsidized by the training programs that will be sponsored by the government, funded
Okay.
by the government. And at the same time, there will also be cost sharing for the local government. So we usually charge a registration or tuition, something like
So
that.
based on your computation, the facility will be self-sustaining because it will have revenues from the attendants,
From the attendants.
the attendees,
And
there will be-
government-funded trainings.
Yes, there will be payments from the government entities.
Mr. Chair.
So it will be self-sustaining.
That is the projection, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Unless
Kasi
the
diba,
trainings-
ang ano ko lang, pag nagpatayo ka ng hotel, the next will be MOE. No? You need people to maintain it, you need people to clean it, you need people to maintain the mechanical mga equipment, mga aircon, generator. So the recurring expenses will also increase. No? So that's the other side. But you're saying that the revenue is enough to cover all of those items.
if we sustain our training programs for our government officials, local government officials, legislative staff, I think we'll have enough income to sustain the operation, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Just submit to us a description and feasibility study. Kasi nakita ko dito, out of the 923 subsidy from government, 425 will be for the building, almost kalahati.
Yes, Mr. Chair. If you notice the subsidy that we are getting from the government, they are all directed at certain training programs
Yes.
that we are conducting. They are not actually direct subsidy. They are programs that are being funded by the government.
Nakita ko lang dito, education and training program, 299.
Yes. But may details yan, Mr. Chair.
Like, can you share with us the details?
So under education and training program, Mr. Chair, we have the public management development program, which is for middle managers and senior executives in the government. We have the support for projects and programs of the Productivity Development Center. This is more on supporting the government's different government agencies' quality management programs and systems. Then we also have the education, training, and capacity building seminars. So these are the short-term courses that we are doing every now and then for government officials. Then on the research and technology assistance, so these are the assistance we are providing to the different government agencies, and at the same time the research also that we are doing for the public sector. This includes harmonization of national government performance monitoring and reporting system, or the RBPMS, Then we have the support for the Center of Excellence on Public Sector Productivity. This is the COE PSP. Modernizing government regulatory programs. So these are the assistance we are providing to the different agencies on how they can modernize their regulatory system. We have the Government Quality Management Program. We have the Modernizing the Government Regulatory Program, the research program for graduate school on public and development management, and research on sustainable development.
All of those, sir, will be Mr. Sebastian, will be all of those are conducted in Tagaytay or here in Manila or both.
Both of them. We have also our office in Pasig.
In Pasig, I saw there, nakapunta na ako sa building niyo. So those programs are also conducted there.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And then also there's a item here, research and technical assistance to public sector productivity program 198.
That's right, Mr. Chair.
What are those items na yun?
Yung items, yeah. Do you have the detail? Ayan. Basahin. Basahin. Oo nga. Yeah. I think these are the things I just mentioned, Mr. Chair. Harmonization, etc.
Okay.
Ibigay mo yung list. Wala ba mas mga
And then, so ngayon, pag may bago ng building, some of those training will be conducted there.
They will be conducted and at the same time expanded, Mr. Chair, because now we have limited capacity.
Yeah. And all your clients are government, LGUs, government, national government agencies. Do you also conduct trainings for the private sector?
On a limited scale.
Very limited scale. Okay. All right. Okay. So, just submit to us yung feasibility study. Sana nga pwede kayo mag-share ng PIDS para makatipid. At least tipid kami ng, hindi na ako maghahanap ng 200 million.
We can accommodate the training program.
Pero malayo, Tagaytay yun. Sila UP.
Conferences that PIDS will be conducting, Mr. Chair.
In training that they will conduct, they can hold it there. Pero may bayad yun, di ba?
It's a sister agency
Arrangement,
Mr. Chair.
Okay. Sige. We'll try our best to look for funds for PIDS. Of course, PIDS is the research partner of EDCOM. By law, PIDS is tasked to assist EDCOM with research, with advice, and all of those things. So, and I've seen the quality of work that PIDS provides EDCOM. No? In fact, a lot of our recommendations are based on PIDS recommendations and findings. And so that's the amount of confidence that we are giving PIDS. That's why we deliberately included that in the law, that they will be the research arm of EDCOM. So I think it's just fair to give them a decent place to conduct their research. No? But we'll try our best. Kung tama yung assessment ni Dr. Mapa, meron tayong 30 billion na pwedeng kunin. Kukunin ko sa 4-piece yun. No? So, sasabihin ko kay Secretary Rex, galing kay Dr. Mapa yung data. No? Ilipat na lang natin within the DepDev family. No? Diba? So, kaya na lang ni Secretary Rex, Yusek Mapa mag-uusap pa. I'll go to the PPP Center, ma'am. Can you brief us how many PPPs are in the pipeline now until maybe 2028 or beyond?
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. So, yes, as an overview of our current pipeline, so as of September 30, 2025, we have 244 projects in the pipeline. And the project cost, which not all of them already have a total project cost of 2.7 trillion pesos if it implemented. So in terms of mode, 175 of these are solicited PPPs. 64 are unsolicited PPPs, and there are some that 5 that we have to verify if it's going to be solicited or unsolicited.
Both national and LGU or national lang to?
For national projects, there are 164. And for local projects, there are 80 in the pipeline.
These 164 projects are confirmed na ito. These are already closed and being implemented.
They're in various stages of preparation. So if we're looking at the national projects, 10 are under procurement. So we're actually already bidding for the private partner. 7 is in the approval stage. This is new for PPP. 7 are in the negotiation phase because that's a innovation that was built into the PPP code. So these are unsolicited proposals under negotiation. 140 are under different stages of project preparation. So that's from feasibility, pre-feasibility up to feasibility. So that's for the 164 national projects. For local projects, there are 8 that are currently under procurement, 7 under the approval process, 13 under negotiation, 47 under project preparation.
So I'll focus on the 164 because these are national projects. How much is the value of this 164?
Okay.
How much is the total value?
The value of the national projects is 2.627 trillion pesos.
2.6 trillion pesos.
Yes.
Yes. And then out of the 2.6, out of the 164, 10 are in the procurement stage already, meaning looking for partners.
Private partners.
And then you said 7 are
in the approval process.
And then
7 are under negotiation.
Negotiation is after procurement?
Negotiation, sir, is before approval, after detailed evaluation in a PPP.
So negotiation because these are unsolicited. Okay. These are unsolicited proposals. So
Yes.
7 are unsolicited proposal. Okay. So lumalabas siya 27 are considered in the advanced stage. Tama?
24 po.
24.
For national.
Okay, 24 advanced stage. What happened to the others? Kasi 164 eh.
The rest are still under the development stage.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
All right. And itong let's concentrate on this in under procurement yung 10. What are these projects in 10 projects?
Okay. Under implementation. Ano na lang nung sa kanila kasi support.
O, di yun. Itong PDMF. Ito. Pareho lang ito, di ba?
Hindi nakasort.
This is PDMF. Walang nagastos eh.
Kasi meron ka na siya 100 million. Mr. Chair, can we return to that question a little later?
Oo. Pero 10 lang yun eh.
Sampu lang immediately comes to mind is
Tatas, hindi naman siya marami.
under active
Like what are those projects yung 10?
yung 10, what immediately comes to mind is
Tatas if madami siya, no? Hindi,
the UPPGH Cancer Center,
okay.
the Baguio General Hospital Hemodialysis Center, so 2 health projects. Under comparative challenge would be a few airport projects. So that would be hindi, under negotiation pa yung isa. Dali ah. Why did we? Ayan. Sige. May NSW siya.
I'm sure meron kayong list, 10 lang naman siya.
So one is the comparative challenge for the Boracay Bridge project in Aklan. Another is a national single
Comparative,
window.
that's unsolicited proposal.
Yes, so it's a Swiss challenge.
Okay,
Princess.
okay. That's by San Miguel?
Yes.
Na San Miguel yan.
Implementing agency.
Yeah. Although may parang torn ang constituency dyan. May mga gusto, may mga ayaw. But I leave the consultation to the PPP Center. You also conduct consultations, di ba?
As part of it was required of the private proponent as part of the requirements for approval. They did have some part of the approval. Actually, DPWH asked them to conduct some more kasi they felt na hindi ganun kadami yung support. So I think the issue now is that there's a lot of opposition at the local level on the project. So medyo nandun po tayo.
Okay. Well, pag nandun ako, iba-iba yung feedback. Eh. May mga gusto kasi nga it's more convenient. Problem pag may ganitong bagyo, and you take pag ganitong bagyo walang gumaganang bangka eh, no? So you get stuck in the island, no? You miss your flight. So but the other side naman yung employment of the bangka operators, no? So but I leave the consultation. I just want to know what are in the pipeline because it's not so many. There's only 24 actually.
So we have a bulk water supply project for Bislig City, which is in Surigao. Another project for the septage project for Bislig City. And then there's a national single window through an integrated trade facilitation platform project. So this is under DICT, but DOF is going to be the user.
This is for customs.
Not just customs, it's for trade facilitation po.
Okay.
But DICT is the implementing agency.
All right.
Of the
Why is it a PPP?
It's a PPP because una may nag-submit po ng unsolicited proposal and it was deemed interesting enough and approved by the government.
All right. I think in my national single window tayo, 'di ba, may case ngayon sa sa Bureau of Customs. So this is another project, but the implementer will be DOF because I think in the BOC has a case to that effect. But ang question ko, why is it a PPP? So the proponent will earn from the transactions.
I
would
think
assume.
yung ano po is meron po siyang share in the collections.
Okay.
Meron siyang sort of royalty
Oo.
for using the system.
Okay. Is that good or bad?
It depends. I mean, the thing is, the national single window kasi is something that's already a global standard. So, it's really better for us to conform to this global standard so that
Yeah, okay yun. But
do
my
the
point is,
trading.
why are we going to share a portion of the transaction to a private proponent? Ba't hindi na lang tayo gumawa ng national single window? Why not government own the system? It's a policy question. I know that's not your realm, no? I'm just saying it's a policy
If I
question.
may answer.
Yeah, yes,
that,
Secretary.
Part of the analysis of and that will help inform the decision is what you call is a study, is an analysis that involves comparing the benefit cost of PPP versus the benefit cost of if the government will do it. So it has to is to be shown that you save government resources, you save more government monies if it's undertaken by the private sector. That a part of analysis has to be shown.
A policy question that I'll leave it to the DOF. Yeah, I agree. What else ang ano natin?
Another project that's currently under procurement is the San Ramon Newport project. So this is the part of the Zamboanga City Ecozone. So it's a solicited PPP project. It's being undertaken with assistance from the PPP Center's Project Development and Monitoring Facility. So we've currently done a couple of market sounding exercises. So malapit na po. May mga bumili na rin po ng bid documents. So we expect this to be awarded within 2026.
Okay. And all of these projects, the role of PPP is to give advice.
Yes.
Advisory,
Yes.
advisory work. And
Yes,
also
Mr. Chair.
hand-holding until the end.
Yes, from institutional capacity building up to monitoring of the project. So end-to-end po.
Yeah,
yung
but you
support
don't
na
conduct the
PPP.
actual procurement.
We don't conduct the actual procurement, but PPP Center now under the law is an observer in the
Procurement
is
process.
a mandated observer in the procurement process.
And then, but the agencies are not mandated to go to PPP Center for their PPP requirements. It's voluntary. Tama ba? Is that the way it works?
For let's say it's mandatory to include the PPP Center during the procurement. It's also for national government agencies, especially if the projects are above the 15 billion threshold for ED Council approval. The PPP Center is part of the evaluating bodies to recommend action through the ICC Technical Board and Cabinet Committee. And as part of the new monitoring mandate of the PPP Center, even the previously awarded PPP projects, we are including it under our project monitoring mandate.
Okay. All right. Just a bit to us lang yung list. A rundown of the list.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oo.
Kasi, medyo... Although for the last one na lang for the solicited
Sige.
projects is the New Clark City Information and Communications Technology Passive Infrastructure Project.
Okay. That's for BCDA.
Yes.
That's for use
Yes,
of
Mr.
BCDA. Okay. I saw in your MOE there is an increase in your professional services from 154,000 to 848,000. That's 500. Baba. As far as tama, from 154,000 to 848 million. No, so that's a 550,000% increase. Ba't ang laki ng jump?
Yes, Mr. Chair. As explained early on by Secretary Balisacan, when we implement projects, we want them to be shovel ready. So that increase actually is the proceeds of a loan that the Philippine government entered it into with the Asian Development Bank. And the purpose of that loan is to top up the project development and monitoring facility of the PPP Center. So the PDMF is a revolving fund that PPP Center manages, and the intent is to support various implementing agencies in developing and procuring and eventually monitoring their PPP projects. So as part of the PPP code, as I mentioned, the mandate of the PPP Center was expanded to also include PPPs entered into by GOCCs, by LGUs, and by SUCs and local universities and colleges. So we determined that in order for the project development and monitoring facility to support the expanded mandate, we needed to top up the PDMF. So one other important aspect of topping up the PDMF is because it's through an ADB loan, we'll be able to access the consultant database of the Asian Development Fund. So we can procure consultants through the ADB consultant management system. So that gives us access to a wider range of consultants than we would usually have access to under local procurement rules. One other reason for this is if we're going into more modern or innovative sectors for PPPs, there might not be enough qualified local consultants to advise us on structuring these projects.
See, your budget for 2026 is 1.1 billion, of which 848 million will be for professional services na. But on top of that, you're also entering into a loan agreement with ADB, no, for $30 million.
Yes, Mr.
So that's
Chair.
1.5 billion pesos.
Yung 846 po is the amount that will be released for 2026. I think there's another tranche for 2027.
So the 800 million professional services is part of this 30 million.
Yes,
Magkasama siya doon.
Yes, that's part of the.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hindi siya on top.
Hindi po.
Okay, all right. And then what's that's my next question now. Itong project development monitoring facility, how come we entered into a loan to do project development monitoring activities? Why not just fund it through the GAA? This is a core activity of PPP Center, diba? Project monitoring, project development. It's a core activity, so why not just finance it through GAA because it's part of your mandate? Bakit pa tayo humiram ng pera to finance our mandate?
Well, I guess, Mr. Chair, as I explained earlier, one of the motivations was also to be able to access the consultant database of the Asian Development Bank, given the changing nature of the PPPs that we need to go into. So we also need to make sure that additional mandate po kasi is the hiring of independent consultants for the monitoring during the implementation phase of the project. So for certain, let's say more high-tech or more global projects, we need access talaga to international expertise. And I think the other one is the PDMF is not really a one-time expenditure kind of nature ng fund. It's a revolving fund, and it's actually just topping up the current PDMF that the PPP Center is already managing. So when we ran some numbers on the expected pipeline for PPPs for the next few years, we estimated that we might, given the PDMF is expected to be repaid by the implementing agencies or by the private partners that get awarded the PPP projects. But given, let's say, the timeline for procurement, there might be times if we didn't top up the PDMF, there will be a point that the PPP Center wouldn't have any reserves to grant to implementing agencies. So that the decision was made to secure a loan from the Asian Development Bank.
Basically, the loan enables us to tap into the expertise of ADB.
Yes, their consultant.
How often do we tap ADB for PPP
we tap
projects?
fairly often. For the NAIA PTP, they were the project preparation and transaction advisor. They're also now advising the MRT3.
We don't have that expertise internally? So parang pinahiram tayo ng pera para kumuha tayo ng consultant sa kanila.
Hindi
Diba? Parang ganun nangyayari.
Kaya nga, bayad na
So my
naman.
point is, the whole point of creating PPP centers to have that expertise. Diba? That's the point. That's the rationale I'm pointing to. The whole mandate of PPP center is to develop expertise for the government in terms of PPP execution.
Yes,
diba?
Mr. Chair.
So ano lang ako, nagtataka ako, why are we borrowing and then money that eventually end up to them as well because we're getting expertise from them? Yes, go ahead, Secretary.
The design of the loan is such that we used with for complicated projects, especially those that involve complex financial transactions or designs, like for example sharing of risk. We tap the facility to get the consultant that has wide, extensive experience, expertise that we may not have. And actually, the funds are supposed to be used only for complicated projects like the international airport, the subway, the railway, because we don't have this kind of
Public market.
Pero you don't need this SPDMF.
Hindi na tayo mag-ADB nun.
No.
Kasi yan naman sa mga LGU, public markets.
So hindi na, we don't use
Intermodal
the
terminals.
for those. Yung mga complicated lang na where we don't have the expertise and we need and quite an expensive project, so we need a third eye, an independent assessor to look at the project design, the contracts, to make sure that it is in our interest, and that hindi lugi ang gobyerno sa kontrata.
Alright, so these are just for very complex, well, obviously airport is very complex yan. No, yung mga subway, mass transit projects, I admit very complicated yan. Even yung mga bulk water supply, it's also not an easy PPP project. So this is where ADB will come in to lend their expertise.
ADB is only a facility, but that the experts that we tap are not ADB people.
Ay, di ba? Akala ko ADB people.
No.
Kasi, but they also provide, di ba?
They also provide
Meron din yan eh.
expertise.
Ito eh.
Like for example, with top of
but the-
sometimes the IFC of World Bank, because they have global experiences and financing and designing contracts and complicated
Daming
projects like
budget, dami nating utang.
subways or railways, airports.
These multilaterals, their advantage is they have global presence.
Yeah,
So they have
right.
been all types of PPPs, from big to small to simple to complex. So I'm assuming that the facility will enable us to tap into those global experiences. No? Yeah. Okay. All right. Sige. Pasubmit na lang yung list, ma'am.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And then just a few to the other departments lang, like the Philippine National Volunteer Service Coordinating Agency. What's our latest notable accomplishments, Mr. Gaw? Mr.
Yes,
Gawe?
Mr. Chair, I think the accomplishment notable that may be considered notable for VSCA now is the reawakening, or shall I say, people in government are looking into volunteerism seriously as a way of achieving their organizational objective as well as sectoral objective, apart from what we know that volunteerism is all about disaster response. But of course, in reality, that's really the case. So as we speak now, we have there are a lot of volunteers going now to Bogo City to respond to the incident there. But now, as shown by our data, there is increasing awareness of local government units to really mainstream volunteerism as a strategy of development. I would like to share that years before, we have the search for outstanding volunteer, LGU category, but this is really more of awarding a specific program of a local government unit on how they are able to utilize volunteerism. But this program has been expanded to really look into how the local government units are able to mainstream it in planning, for example, in local policy, mainstreaming volunteerism as a strategy. And for this year, there are actually around 24 local government units who have asked to be assessed on how they are able to mainstream volunteerism as a strategy of development. So before, makakarinig pa tayo na bakit maglalagay tayo ng kahit kaunting pondo sa volunteerism. Volunteerism nga yan eh. So now I think governments have already realized that their role in volunteerism. So I think that's the biggest achievement so far that we can share.
I don't know if this is possible. A registry of volunteers, is that kasi volunteers, you just volunteer, diba? I don't know if there's a formal registry of volunteers.
So far, there is none. So it's only the organizations who are volunteering to submit the information to us. So as of now, there are around 15,000 volunteers in our registry on a regular basis. But these are only a few organizations. So we are working with organizations, public and private, to later on maybe like having a stat generator to gather all of the sign up of volunteers. But we also ask the PSA to include rider questions on information on volunteering for the past 3 months, for example. So in the 2022 CBMS, we are able to include rider questions, and in fact, in our proposal for next year, this is one of the proposals for us to analyze, and maybe we can have like information on how much percent of, say, 15 years old and above who have volunteered for the past
And
3 months.
I saw in a COA report 2024, there's a contract amount of 114 million. I think this is to generate volunteer statistics through volunteer work survey, but it's not implemented yet.
100.
14 million.
No. We don't have that.
This is I think this is lodged under PSA. Wala ba yun?
No. That's the one, but it's not 114. We actually proposed for 2 statistical projects. One is for the LFS, including some rider questions in the labor force survey and in the community-based monitoring system. I think the total would roughly be around 3 million for the
3 million.
two initiatives.
Parang the project generating volunteer statistics through volunteer work survey with the PSA had a total contract amount of 114 million, which was not ready for implementation despite inclusion in its budget in the 2024
4.7 million.
Hindi, 114.
No. We don't have that.
But is this in the PSA? Wala bang ganito? This is in the COA report nakuha namin.
We don't have, I understand, Mr. Chair, yung budget ng volunteers agency natin is much less
Smaller, yeah,
than that.
definitely.
So,
Parang
baka may
it's only 17 million. Tama ba?
4.7. It's actually 4.7 only.
Ang budget is your budget is 40 million?
Yeah, our budget is 40 million only.
40 million,
proposed for
correct.
next year.
The proposed. So there's itong 114 is not with PSA?
There's no budget like that,
The COA report.
Mr. Chair.
But we'll double check na lang. All right. So we'll go to PSRTI. Where is PSR? Any notable accomplishments, ma'am?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. For the 2024 PSRTI accomplishments, the agency was able to accomplish 77 training activities consisting of 14 regular and 29 customized training courses, 13 SDG or Sustainable Development Goals seminars, and 21 Regional Statistics Committee complementary trainings. For the research division, we were able to accomplish 18 in-house and 14 commission research, 6 grants for thesis and dissertation grants for technical assistance to 8 provinces and an organization of the PSRTI Research Forum. That's all, sir, for the accomplishment of PSRTI.
CBMS training, is it under PSRTI? Because that needs a lot of training with the LGUs.
Yes,
Is it with your agency?
We support the CBMS training being hosted or conducted by PSA. So that's one of our activities for SDG or CBMS trainings.
Okay. And then how many LGUs have you already trained?
I'll check, sir.
Who are you? Sino mga clients ninyo? Mga government agencies?
Yes po. Mostly NGAs, government agencies. We are LGUs from
The planning office?
planning office and
Okay.
also some of them from private institutions.
Okay. But I think one of the most important activities now will be CBMS.
Correct po.
No, and then the law is very clear that all agencies will now rely on the CBMS data for their policy recommendations. So, and CBMS is mainly executed by the local government units, of
Yes.
course guided by PSA.
Yes.
So, kailangan talaga kabisado nila kung anong gagawin. And I know for a fact, maraming planning office are not equipped with the right skill set, no, when it comes to CBMS. So, can PSRTI come into this
Yes.
picture so that we can train our local government units?
Yes po. Actually, yan po yung aming major function ngayon to support the CBMS activities for the local government units.
How many LGUs have a statistician? Yusek, alam niyo ba? Alam ko Valenzuela parang wala yata.
May mga very small.
Very small,
very
oh,
small.
very specialized yan.
Yes. Although, to be fair naman, may mga ibang planning office na non-statistician but technical, no? Engineers. So they know the numbers. But that is really still a big challenge, particularly for yung mga LGUs na 5th, 4th class. Talagang kailangan yun ng maraming inputs for capacity development, Mr. Chair.
In the law, I remember LGU should have a statistician, no?
Yes, as part of the team that would handle the planning, mayroon municipal statistician or city statistician.
Yeah. Mayroon bang available supply ng statistician?
There are a number of universities now outside Metro Manila that are offering statistics program or a similar type, but to really compensate for the demand, medyo hindi kaya.
Hindi kaya, no?
Chair.
Yeah. I know, like for example, in Valenzuela, ang head namin is an architect. But I don't remember if we have a statistician in the team. Ay parang wala yata. It's a very specialized skill.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I agree.
Yeah. So this is where pwede bang pumasok dito yung PSRTI at least naman to capacitate some of the technical people to keep up with
Yes,
CBMS?
Mr. Chair. Yung PSA, as part of the mandate naman sa CBMS, when we transfer the data, so we have a number of capacity development program. The first, as I mentioned kanina, yung data privacy. Very important yun, ano? That's why we also encourage and insist actually that each LGU will have a data privacy officer before we turn over the data to them. After that, the PSA has a number of capacity building programs for the LGUs. One, as I mentioned kanina, yung mga poverty mapping or indicators from the non-income multi-dimensional poverty index. We are also collaborating with the DILG and PSRTI. They provided a module for the use of CBMS data on policy, budgeting. But of course, because of the huge number of LGUs, a agency such as PSRTI could be of great help to make sure that the LGUs are really utilizing the CBMS data, Mr. Chair.
Like yung sa going back to PSRTI, you train the for national government. Which office do you train? Which offices or which part of the agency do you actually give training to?
For the customized training, sir, we already conducted training for CEPO.
Dito?
Yeah.
Okay
And
pa sila natuto?
also for the House of the Representatives po on the basic statistics training for the staff.
All right. So for example, yung mga senator staff, can we apply for training?
Yes, sir.
Because like I'm sure you can see that we use a lot of data in terms of recommending policies, recommending legislation. Is that available to, let's say, staff of legislators?
Yes, sir. You can request from us to provide training.
Okay.
Depende po sa needs nyo
All right.
on statistical related matters.
Okay. Thank you for that. For Tariff Commission, what are the notable accomplishments?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Chair. As mentioned by the Secretary earlier, we now have a 2024 to 2028 most favored nation type structure, and that promotes policy stability, policy transparency, and policy certainty. And then we also issue an average of four advance rulings on tariff classification per day. This makes it easier for importers to bring in their goods because those advance rulings contain the tariff classification, the tariff rates on the products that they have to pay. And then we have completed 3 investigations and submitted 3 reports on tariff modification, submitted 2 reports on the promotion of foreign trade, and we have completed 4 investigations on applications for trade remedy measures, Mr. Chair.
Yesterday, we approved a resolution, sense of the Senate, to recommend to the executive, to the president, to increase yung rice tariffs from 15 to 35. Is this part of your scope in terms of studying the effects of this type of policy recommendations?
Mr. Chair, we have conducted an investigation on a petition by a farmers group to increase the tariff rates to 35%, and we submitted a report to the Tariff and Related Matters Committee, which is co-chaired by the DepDev and the TTI, and that petition is with the committee for consideration, Mr. Chair.
Okay, but that's part of your scope in terms of studying the effects of, let's say, a 15% tariffs on rice importation versus a higher 35%.
Yes,
you
Mr. Chair.
can look at that. You can look at that effect.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and then do you have any quick comment on that recommendation by the Senate? Kasi kahapon na-approve namin yung sense of the Senate, sponsored by Senator Pangilinan. And because the logic there is palay prices right now is bumagsak sub 10 pesos. No? 2 months ago when I was in Nueva Ecija, kausap ko yung mga taga doon, they're already crying at 15 pesos per kilo of palay. Now it's at 8 pesos per kilo. So that's why kami sa Senate, we unanimously recommended through a sense of the Senate resolution to bring it up to 35. No? So I want to know, based on your study, is this recommendation a fair and timely recommendation, and what's the effect, right? What is your own analysis and recommendation?
Mr. Chair, in a report that we recently submitted to the TRMC, we have we considered that the domestic industry is proposing that the farm gate price be at least 18 pesos because the production cost, according to them, is about 14.5 pesos. So if the farm gate price now is, like you said, Mr. Chair, 9 pesos to 11 pesos, then that situation should be remedied. Now, whether that should be through tariffs, because tariffs can also be inflationary, and also considering, Mr. Chair, that there is an import ban now. So I would assume that that would mean that consumers are demanding more local rice. Therefore, prices of rice should be going up. So it's very difficult to make a recommendation now, Mr. Chair, because I have to look at all the data first.
I thought meron na kayong study. I thought you took a look at
We did the study last April, Mr. Chair.
Matagal na.
Opo.
Matagal na.
Opo, iba na yung data na ginamit
Malayo.
namin.
2 months ago when I was in university, iba yung presyo. Now, iba na yung presyo. Ang bilis ng palit eh.
Opo.
Oo. So you don't have any... Sana meron kayong ganitong mga research that you can provide us through a policy report to help us. Not all senators are well versed in tariffs and taxes. This is very complex. No? You look at many angles, many variables. So it would be good for the Tariff Commission to share with us also some policy notes, some policy research, so we can be guided bumoto na kami kahapon. I voted to raise it just because nga the prices are very low. But I wanted to get your
Shoni
scientific based recommendation or your research based recommendation.
We will study that, Mr. Chair, and we will submit.
But to date, wala pa. Wala kayong ganun na study.
Wala, Mr. Chair.
Wala pa. Alright. Sige. Sana meron. I would recommend that, especially in agriculture, this is susceptible to agriculture is basic and food is basic and susceptible to price fluctuation. So the only way we can curb inflation is through importation, lowering down tariffs. But that cannot be for a long time as well because it will kill our local industry. So it's a balancing act. No? Secretary.
Indeed, the situation in the rice market, both domestic and global, when the tariff was reduced by EO 62 from 35 to 15, has changed much. World prices, rice prices have gone down quite sharply since then. And with the reduction in the tariff, that obviously led to surge in imports that put downward pressure on farm gate price. And indeed, farm gate prices have gone down almost to the extent of the decrease in oil prices. And so yes, the evidence does indicate that farm gate prices have really gone down, and that has to be addressed. The economic team, DevDev, and have been looking at this, and we have been discussing this also with our president to address the issue. And obviously, increasing the tariff is one of those options. But we also have to look at the other factors like the impact of raising the tariff and the affordability of rice, especially for the poor, and the possible inflationary pressure created by the tariff. So all these issues would have to be addressed consistently, and so what we are looking at is a way of supporting farmers, getting the farm gate price for their produce to the level that is remunerative enough that they are able to recover and their cost and earn incomes over and above that cost, and that could involve some increases in tariff, but also a direct price support to them. And so we are looking at that combination of increasing, providing price support direct to the farmers, while also moderating the increases in the tariff so that retail prices will not increase and put pressure on inflation, because we don't want to go back to the high inflation regime, particularly for food. And I think we are ready to provide our recommendation to the President in a few days' time.
Don't want to preempt, Secretary, that recommendation, but here in the Senate yesterday we voted to recommend to increase tariffs by 35%, and the main reason there is because of the value of palay crashed to sub 10 pesos, no? 8 pesos is what we are hearing, no? So with that price and production cost is at 14, wala na talagang chance na mabuhay yung mga magsasaka natin. So we all voted unanimously. But of course, like you said, no, there are other variables that we need to look at, and we leave that to DepDev to look at the entire picture. Yeah.
We're also looking at Mr. Chair is a more sustainable, permanent solution to the problem. That what we don't want to create is a situation like currently, in and out of import bans, things like that, which could, in the longer haul, would adversely affect the efficiency of markets. When you have long import bans, for example, that destroys the networks of traders, especially importers. And when you lose that, and there will be another crisis later, it will be harder to cope with that crisis. So we want to make markets and sustain and improve the efficiency of markets, because obviously the rice market also is not working properly, because retail prices have not come down as much as we expected from the reduction in world prices combined with a reduction in the tariff. So we have to look at all these issues to ensure that what we do is a permanent solution, particularly protecting our farmers from these market pressures.
Thank you, Secretary. We'll leave that to the Committee on Agriculture. I think that is a topic that the Committee on Agri can drill down. I just want to just pick the brains of the Tariff Commission, considering that they're also tasked to look at all of these tariff-related effects of policy. All right, so I don't have any more questions. There being no further questions, the budget of DepDev and its attached agencies and corporations, namely the CPD, PNVSCA, PPP Center, PSRTI, PS8, TC, DAP, and PIDS, is now deemed submitted for the plenary's consideration, subject to the discussion and the submission of documents requested. So maraming salamat po, Secretary. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
This briefing is hereby suspended.
Thanks for watching, guys. Already done. All approved. Thanks for watching. See you again next committee hearing.